Let's see. Can you hear me now? That's good. We can hear it. Yep, 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 yep. Check, check. Mic, mic, mic. Check, mic, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. Looks like we are live. Awesome. Hey, welcome back, everybody. My name is Tim. This is the Corvus Cast, where the where the, where the host isn't particularly good looking, the jokes just aren't funny, and we just talk about made up things, anyways. It's really good to be back. I'm glad to see everybody back out there. And I say everybody, I mean all 0 viewers of the show right now. So I'm sure that people will come and log on. There's plenty of things going on, all kinds of stuff happening. It is a Saturday night, and y'all probably have families to hang out with and do all those things. But I thought that I would have a show and talk to everybody about all the things that are going on. Also, increased production value since the last time we talked. Added a couple of new lights over here on the front side, and getting some really, really good views in the camera. I'm really happy with the way everything's looking, and you can see down here on the lower right-hand corner, I got a boom. Finally, I got this boom. Hopefully you can see it moving. So a little bit of things got updated. That's pretty cool. Really, really happy about that. I hope that everybody has all the good things in the world happening to them right now, because it's feeling kind of bleak. But at least we can hang on to savers, right? So let's go ahead and get this thing kicked off. And when people show up, and we'll have discussions. The chat is open over there in the right-hand side. I think it's the right-hand side of your window. So if you're watching and enjoying, please drop a line, say, hey, what's up? And let's have some conversations and talk about stuff. But we'll go ahead and get this going. So one of the things that happened in February was year one for Corvus Saber Foundry kind of came and went really, really quietly. I was really sad about that because I had some things planned that I wanted to do, but all of the crazy stuff that happened in January, it just went nuts, and it's hard to stay on top of things with my main job picking up, and then subsequent other things, my grandma passing, and a couple of other items. I just went completely sideways. So I missed out on year one. That's really disappointing. I think at some point this year I'm going to offer the year one bundles and try and get people at least a copy, or some kind of packet of all of the year one items that Corvus Saber Foundry had, because I think that it was really pivotal to the foundation of what we were doing. And so, look out for that in the future. I'm trying to find. I've got some elements from, I think, Shadewalker. He provided some stuff, some images and different things to look at and make stickers out of, and hopefully provide a really nice year one experience for everybody. I don't know how that's going to go. We'll see what happens. Some things in the last couple of months, or I guess last month or so, I've been going really hard, aggressively at optimizing the website for all kinds of things. And so if you use search engines to find me and you don't have me bookmarked already, that's fine. I should be showing up a little bit better, and I should be on first page for a lot of things. And so I've done a lot of work, a lot of work, to be honest with you, probably more work. In fact, I'm pretty sure the reason why I don't have anything put together for year one, in addition to the other things that happened, is primarily because I was pursuing that avenue. Visibility and activity in the website is life. And so if you don't have that, it's really difficult for people to notice you and come to your webpage. And so far, the changes that I've done and the changes that I've made have really increased, I think, the visibility of the page. I'm starting to get more reliable more reliable visitorship, and not necessarily converting yet, but we'll get to that point at some point in juncture. My hope is very soon it's going to start kicking off. So one of the big things I think that everybody's been watching and kind of paying attention to is the developments for Corvus Saber Foundry, right? One of the big ones, parts-wise, and I've teased it and I've shown it a couple of times, and just generally been talking about it a lot, which is the thin neck. And I'm going to go ahead and minimize my screen here just a little bit and give you guys a taste of what I'm talking about. Whoops, I minimized the wrong one. Oh, there it is. Okay, I got the correct one, I think. Nope, not the correct one still. All right, I'm going to turn my screen off. There we go. That's the one I wanted. All right, so what I was saying here was I was going to try to hide that, but I don't know how to hide it. I think I can hide it. Oh, well. anyways, one of the biggest developments in Corvus Saber Foundry history, right at the moment, is the thin neck, and a lot of this came about at the end of last year time frame, and I really wanted to put something together that increased and made really really efficient and effective this thin neck design. And so I don't think a lot of people have looked really closely at the drawings or the items here, but some things that I wanted to point out and just kind of show as part of the design elements that I went after. I showed them in the last video or in the last live stream. I didn't get an opportunity to really show them on the actual components inside of the drawing tool. And so we'll zoom in on one of these items. In case you're wondering, yes, there are 3 necks currently going to production. I've got one of them here with the lowers, or I guess we're calling these the bases at this point. So I've got 2 bases in design. I have this one male base and a female base, and they're about 6 millimeters in thread depth there for both. I'm sorry, 7 millimeters for this thread and 6 millimeters for the internal thread. And I added some design elements into it that I thought were going to improve or make better the usability for things like dueling. And just so you understand, I can't warranty any of my dueling or any of my parts for quote unquote dueling because I just don't have the backing to be able to say yes, this is approved for dueling. But every single one of the design features of this part were designed with dueling in mind so that it could be used for dueling. So if you use it, it's at your own risk, but I'm pretty confident that it's going to be hard. You're going to be hard pressed to break this. And so just so you guys can see it here, the walls of this is a 12 millimeter internal diameter. The wall thickness is just about 4 millimeters worth of material. So that's good enough. The current standard that we have is pretty close to this, and I did my best to make sure that I stayed right on top of that number because I feel like it's a good strength, a good wall strength to be able to duel. Thinking about it this way, the wall strengths on the actual sabers that we use, on the 33 millimeter outer diameters with the 1 inch inner diameter. That's 25.4 or 25.5 inner diameter, if you will. Is only about 2 millimeters thick. And so this thin neck has almost 2 millimeters on that with the intention of making it really, really strong. The second piece of engineering here, and I'm going to highlight it, is this chamfer. And usually you find chamfers like this inside of what they call, I don't want to call it Army Navy, but it's aeronautical fittings. It's usually called an AN fitting, and they have this torque chamfer that allows the item to lock really, really well into place. And so I designed this torque chamfer inside of both of these bases, and it's also designed as this key element here on all of the necks. And so every single neck has it. Every single neck that I produce will use it. And it's designed to lock in nice and tight and create a really strong connection between this part, the base, and the neck part itself. And then the additional pieces to this is that if you look at these really closely, you can see that they're asymmetrical, and that is absolutely intended so that you can get a flip out of both of these. So if you imagine having, let's see, 2 of these out here. It would create a circular reference. Of course it would. Well, let's do this instead. Let's go ahead and grab the male thin neck base, and we'll just talk about it real quick. My intention wasn't to go straight into to Fusion 360 and start talking about this nonsense right out the gate, because I got some other things I want to talk about too. But it's as good as time as any, and you're here, so I'm going to talk to you, all one person of you. So if you're watching, I really appreciate you watching. And if you're joining later, that's also okay. I have no problems with that. I'm just going to talk about my stuff, and that's how we're going to do this. So imagine, if you will, you have a combination of these parts. You could buy all of them. You can get parts of them. You can get a couple of combinations of them to fit whatever needs you want. But I'm just going to use this singular part here as the demonstrator to be able to show this. So Imagine you bought a combination of these parts. You buy two male bases, two female bases, and all three necks. The two male bases are going to give you the opportunity to have a male adapter out of this whole combination, and then one of your male bases can be shifted over to a female base to make what is currently or the current VHC paradigm a female-male combination, which, if I'm not mistaken, usually the female combination is on the bottom, or I'm sorry, the male combination is on the bottom. And so you would get the current VHC paradigm as it sits there. You could then invert this particular piece here. We'll go ahead and just capture the disc portion. You could invert this 180 degrees, get yourself a new look in that same space, and then you could flip these 180 degrees and get a fourth new look out of this. So that's right, you have a female-female, a male-male, a male-female, and a female-male look, all inside of the same singular part. And so if you had all three of the necks, you can count, multiply, that comes out to 12 different looks out of these, we'll call it 7 parts right here. Which I think in sabering right now is, I don't want to say unprecedented, but it's pretty rare, I think, that you would find that number of looks from a package of parts like this. So I'm really, like I said, I'm really excited about these parts, and I'm ready to get them to you. Unfortunately, there's been a couple of snafus sitting in the factory at the moment, and they had troubles getting people back to work, and they had issues getting the first run of prototypes through, and now the second ones are finished, and they should be on their way to me here any day now. I'm hoping to be able to get all of these completed by April at this point. As soon as I have them in hand and I can, as soon as I have them in hand and I can turn it around, I'll have it back to the factory and they can start producing as soon as possible. So I don't think that we're far off. Unfortunately, they sent me this version here, this disc version and the wasp waist version, which are the two newest necks, but they didn't send me the new bases. And I made some critical changes to the bases to where the necks will actually sit down inside them and sit almost flush with this top layer, so that they don't protrude any further and make like another step appearance. This has a step, this has a step, this has a step, and so the idea is that they would sit flush inside of that space. So either way, really excited about these. I'm done talking about them. We're gonna go back to another space, right? So it gets into my brain that there are a lot of people out there that are looking for. There might be a lot of people out there looking for VHC lightsabers, but they don't know exactly what they are or how to use them. And I imagine if you've gotten to Corvus Saber Foundry, you know full well that VHC lightsabers are among the more versatile parts, or I should say VHC components are among the more versatile components that you can work with to make yourself some parts. And you know that Corvus Saber Foundry is adding and bringing in a whole bunch of new parts to be able to facilitate more combinations of builds. But I'm not sure that like everybody realizes the quantity and variability of builds that you can achieve using VHC and Corvus Saber Foundry's parts, right? So using alloy is actually the name of the parts that I'm using or that I'm creating, right? And so I put out a couple of FAQs on the website to explain what alloy is, but I thought that it would be really nice to be able to do a video. I've kind of glossed over the topic or the idea, but I really want to concrete it and put it out there into the aether so that people can see it and can understand what I'm talking about. So we're going to go over here to the other place that I added some production value. You can see that I've got some light back here. I actually had a ring light that was originally directly in front of me that illuminated my face, that I was able to get an adapter and get it fitted to the overhead look. So I have an entire workbench of space to work through as opposed to having no space to work through. So I'm hoping that it's going to look pretty good. So we're just going to go ahead and mess around with that. I'm going to close this out and I'm going to turn that on. All right, and I'm going to use my boom here and drag the mic over towards me so that I can talk to you while we're talking about this. Whoa, I just did it. Oh, I shook it. It's bad. You got to be careful with that now. That's another thing. Bad production value. All right, so I had to pull this out because I couldn't find any better way to really show the parts because they just like to roll around and go all over the place. And if you're wondering, this is a centering jig for a drill press. So it's actually really convenient for just holding the part in place so you can look at it, right? And so one of the things I want to put up here first is this guy right here. And so there's a lot of things around on the desk. Please don't judge too harshly. I'll go ahead and turn some of the light down just a little bit so it's not so bright. But what you have in front of us is the standard VHC component, and as most people know full well, it is a male and a female formatted component. Let me just grab my gloves really quick. I'm super self-conscious about my fingers and hands, so I'll get my hand model gloves out, and hopefully that will help take my stage fright about my hands away. And so what we have in front of us here is a normal VHC component, right? And as I had explained, it has a female component here and a male component on this end, and they interact with typically with other parts of similar types in pretty well much one direction. And so you get your male component mates up to the female component, and then you got your parts that fit together. Now, a lot of times the sabers are configured in this fashion where they have male, female components all the way down the length of it. And so if I grabbed, like an entire array of parts, and I think I've got a handful of them here that I can pull out and show what I want to see. Sorry about my arm reaching across there, but basically to give you a better look at what I'm talking about, this is a Mentor grip from Wire Sabers, and this is a 2-inch ribbed extension and a Monarch emitter piece, right? Everybody knows how these all go together, and you kind of just saw what that looked like. Typically your pommels are going to be female threaded because they fit this male thread, and they run kind of all the way up. And for the most part, that works for everybody. And folks find it to be a serviceable saber system to be able to build whatever lightsaber combinations that you want. But what happens if I had a male part that I wanted to connect to this, or a female, a male part to this male part that I wanted to put these together? Now you have a problem. You have to adapt it, and usually that ends up in the form of one of these. And this just happens to be one from Wire Sabers, which is a Guardian pommel, is what they called it at one point. But essentially, it serves the same purpose. It's a male adapter that allows you to adapt that to one end. But now I have this problem where I can't put my pommel back in here. So now I have to have another adapter, and usually that comes in the form of like a stealth adapter or some such to be able to do this. But what I'm kind of looking at here is not really exposing a central flaw necessarily, but exposing the central conceit of VHC, is that your VHC parts are kind of inherently limited. And it's nice because it gives you a framework on which to go, but it's not very versatile. And one of the things that I'm trying to do with Alloy is to break that mindset that we have to be stuck using or working with parts that don't fit what we want them to do, right? And so I'm going to put this off to the side and show you what my paradigm is here. And so this is one of my components. It's a female body segment or body component, which is I think it's the 33 millimeter. It might be the 50. I can check it really fast here. It's the 50. And yeah, no, I didn't get that full measurement on there, but yeah. So the idea is with Alloy, you can create an immense amount of variability to your parts builds by utilizing this female setup. And yeah, in some ways it limits what you can do kind of down here at the end with milling and machining. You can't really go as deep as you might like to go because the threading is all female on both ends. And so that is one limitation to it. But what you get out of this is the ability to do as many combinations of parts that you want to, but also create a type of visual interest in between parts, right? So when we put two of these VHC parts together, you can kind of see that there's not really a lot of visual interest in this space. It's just kind of maybe a mill line and like a connecting line. And so with alloy, one of the central features is this female-female piece is, if I put this here, I can show you one piece. This here is my 33 millimeter adapter. This is the type 1 point, I think it's type 1.3. This comes in 3 different sizes. This is 30 millimeter, 31.5 millimeter, and 33 millimeter diameters for this outer, or for this ring segment here. And if I put these two together, you can see the layout for VHC, right? It fits this way, fits that way, etc., etc. Right? So I have a male-female layout with one part installed on this. And yeah, is it overcomplicating it? Maybe. It might be. But you get a really nice amount of variability with just one part. And yeah, you could flip it. You can do the same thing that you would do with any VHC part and get the same layout just as easily as you would with any VHC part, right? But the real fun bit here comes where you start adding additional adapters to it, and the adapters have different styles. But now you get to make a male-male component, and you could do the same thing with VHC. But what you can't do is change how it looks in between the parts, right? And so these adapters allow you to really add another dimension to your lightsaber builds by putting this visually interesting component in between these parts. And more of these adapters will come out with time. Each of them kind of developing their own different looks, different styles. I got quite a bit of reflection off of that light. I'm trying to show you, a really nice look at it. I might have to kill some of the power of this just a little bit here. That's a little bit better, I guess. But the really nice thing about these adapters is that they give really good definition and different looks in between each of these components. And that's not really something that you're going to get with a standard VHC part. In fact, the only way that you're going to be able to get that is if you use VHC parts in that same fashion, where you're basically making them male-male. And so you kind of have to think a little bit about your builds when you're trying to incorporate alloy into VHC, but you still gain the benefit of having these nice adapters in between those pieces, right? So once I start getting a few more pieces on board, you'll start to see, I think, a little bit more development with how these parts look. And my goal is to make each of these as interchangeable, not interchangeable, but the same way the thin neck is, right? So with the thin neck, as you're holding it and you flip it, you're going to get another set of looks out of it. And I'm trying to do the same thing basically with each of these other parts. So once we pick up a few more designs for these intermediary pieces, I think that you'll start to see what I'm talking about come to fruition. This asymmetric design to where you'll have multiple looks every time you flip it, and that's really going to make, I think that's really going to make alloy shine. Is the immense amount of parts variability. And let's add on to this. Once we start looking at what other things that we can add, we start to include these items that I've created, which are the accent rings. And you can still slip these over all the VHC parts too. So you're not really losing anything by using alloy over VHC. It all works the same. It does the same stuff, right? But again, where I think alloy is going to be advantageous is if you ever needed just a couple of millimeters of headspace for something, for a part, for a component, these adapters are actually really good at doing that. And in this iteration here that I'm showing you, you can put this adapter in, like nested inside of the accent ring, where it will fit, nice and cleanly, and it's hidden underneath of there, and it'll butt right up against whatever it is that you're putting this part up against. Or you could put the adapter underneath of that accent ring and hide that adapter underneath of it and add about 2.5 millimeters. And it is my goal that in the very near future, there's going to be at least another handful of these adapters coming. And those adapters will be coming in multiple sizes, like 550, I think 5.5 millimeters, and 7 and 10 and 15 and 20, etc., all the way on up, so that we can start getting some different size adapters as well, and you can start mixing and matching some of the body components and some of the adapters back and forth. But the beauty, I think, of Alloy is its ability to interchange these adapters to give you, I think, maybe one of the more interesting saber combinations that you can get. This is just one that I was playing with, a set of saber combinations, and it even goes a long way. It goes a really long way at getting away from the current paradigm of VHC. I really think that I think there's a direction that I'm taking this, that it's going to be very, very useful in the near future. So this is just one piece that I was messing around with. I decided that I wanted to create I think it was a saber out of the parts that I had, and based around another one of the fellows that I admire a lot in the community. His name's Nick Cohen. He does Starfall sabers, and so I saw one of his designs, and I said, "Hey, I've got some parts that look kind of similar with this choke. I thought it'd be really neat to try and duplicate it." I don't have a picture of the design up on the screen, but it's composed of. This is actually not even a VHC part. I think this is from a Revan, I think from a TXQ Revan. So it's one of those one parts that I have that's like a one-off that actually fits in my lightsaber collection, and it's black anodized underneath of this silver lip, so it looks really striking when it's on a Revan, one, and two, it looks really good as its own little lip component here too. I see we got a couple of viewers on, so I want to say thank you for joining. Now is a really good time. If you're not on the Discord and you want to hear all the things that Corvus Saber Foundry is doing with Alloy and all the different lightsaber components that we're making, you should stop by the Discord and find out, because while we're there with the murder, we talk about all kinds of things and have a lot of fun while we're doing it. So I hope that you all who are here are part of the Discord. I'm sure that you are. If you're not, you should become one, because we do a lot of chatting there. Well, anyways. This is a handful of components. I think it's actually 5 or 6. When we talk about what it costs to get to this point, I think that it's pretty close to the same. So pretty close to the same as it would be for buying like a single component, potentially. So I'd have to double check that. Don't quote me on it. Of course, the rings are going to be adding up to just a little bit more, but yeah. So this is a choke, or excuse me, the Type 2 choke, along with two 33 millimeter. I think they're 33. This one's a 33, I think. So this one's a 31.5. This one's a 33 millimeter accent, or excuse me, adapter ring, or excuse me, male adapter. I've got a female, or excuse me, the female extension. And then underneath of that is another accent ring and a adapter as well, and the switch type 2.1. So plenty of parts inside of this that you can play around with to figure out what your desired shape is going to be to get there. But this was mostly just a thought experiment to see if I could get there, and I was pretty close. I was pretty well able to do that and achieve a look that was really close to what I was going for, which was kind of mimicking a Nick Cohen saber. And so I'm going to tell you right now, I think that if I can do that with my sabers and I can get kind of close to looking like somebody else's just with a little bit of experimentation, then that makes me really happy. That means that people are going to be looking at us in a way that they think that this saber system is capable of building really nice parts. And even if this was changed out for another type of switch, I think that you would still be able to get a really nice result with a more custom core if you really wanted to. But neither here nor there. Lots of things going on with the Alloy system. But anyways, going back to my point here is that the Alloy system and its component parts are going to be really, really effective at making just about any combination of part that you could possibly want to fit on your VHC saber, or even TXQ saber for that matter. You know, I am tracking that there are quite a few parts from TXQ that have that they have that same thread pattern as VHC, and so they'll all kind of fit together in some way, shape, or form. So I'm really excited to be able to get that out there so that people can use them and do the stuff. But again, my thought process here is if we can offer something that has unparalleled flexibility, something that nobody else is doing, nobody else is offering this kind of setup. Sorry, rest in peace, your ears. You know, we can start really changing the face of VHC, and I think that is one of the primary mechanisms for the I would say primary qualities here for the thin neck is you're going to be able to interchange all these parts, right? And so I can show you that as that would look as if it was a standard VHC component layout, right? You have a female component and a male component on one end, like that. If I take this part away and I put in the next part, now I have a female-female layout. And with each of these, this thin neck can be swapped 180 degrees. So I could turn it 180 degrees and make the next thin neck combination. Take both of these out of here, and I can put in two male components into here. So now we have a male-male thin neck. And I don't think that anybody else has been able to do this yet for VHC. I don't think I've seen anybody build something like this just quite yet. So I'm quite smitten with the design. It's not perfect, but I think that it's as good as it's going to get for right now, until like another iteration comes along. And again, I can switch this back in, and now I have an inverted male-female. You see the VHC piece that was in that original configuration. So now it's flipped. And in each one of these configurations, you can flip that thin neck 180 degrees. So I'm pretty taken with it. I think that it's going to be good, and once I can get it out there and on display for the world to see, do a couple test runs and get it in the hands of some of the members of the murder that do active dueling, I think that we're going to get some good tests out there, and I'll let you guys run that as you see fit. Anyways, I have worn out my welcome, I think, with the one visitor who stopped by. I think they're probably good and bored. So we're gonna go back to the monitor, and we're gonna go do some I think a little bit of design work. It's only about 8:45 or so. So we'll go ahead and do a little bit of less design just for funsies. I haven't been in and done a bunch of design work for much. So for the last month or so, I've been working on other things. So I'll go ahead and kill the display capture, and the video capture, and we'll go back to me. We'll turn the display back on. Oh, hey, welcome back. I see you. I see you dropped off and came back. So I'm gonna slide the screen down here just a little bit if I can capture it correctly, and let it do the thing. Yeah, there goes my face. It's down. All right. It looks like I have. There it is. I don't know why it's not blowing up correctly, but it's not blowing up correctly. Hey, there it goes. Haha. All right. Let's do some designing. We got about 15 minutes to do some designs. I didn't really have anybody say anything that they wanted me to design, except for a couple of shrouds. And really, to be honest with you, Qui-Gon Jinn shrouds are not overly complicated. And so, really, honestly, the things that I make aren't overly complicated anyway. It's just one of those. It's just one of those things. Let me make sure that I am closed out. I have my count up here. It says I have 10, which is not a lot. It's all 10 of them that are stuck together. I gotta undo them. I gotta find them. I don't know where I put them. I did this every time. This is like the third or fourth time. Oh, I hate it when this happens. Oh man. I have my count all the way up at 10. I was working on some projects. What was I working on? Not the thin neck. Maybe. Nope, not that one. It was adapters. Nope, not those either. Man, I'm really letting the stream down tonight. I thought that I had cleaned this up and gotten all of my saved items out of here to where it would allow me to do work. Ah, here we go. This is where I was working last, I think. I think we were playing around with emitters, weren't we? I think we were jacking around with emitters. We sure were. I see it right there. Hey, we got 3 people. We jumped up to 3. Just to let you guys know, I only have enough headspace on the server for like 5 people. So we don't want to have like too many people on. I don't want this stream to grow too big because it's going to really put a lot of tax on the YouTube servers. So just make sure that we don't put too much weight on the servers. Anyways, one of the things I wanted to do, one of the things that's been kind of tickling my brain for a while has been getting back around to some adapters. And one of the adapters that I wanted to make, and I'm just opening it up inside of the adapter space, is something that caught my eye a couple of months ago. I thought it was really interesting, so I'm going to make one. It had some really cool features to it, and I'm not sure if I let's see here. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to articulate it, but somebody had made a really cool design on a chassis, and I thought it was pretty neato. So I'm going to go ahead and put something together here really quick just to play around. I need to make sure that I factor in the ends of the component here that I'm going to be chopping away at. So I need at least 14 millimeters, and then we're going to do we'll do 5. Let's do 19 millimeters here. So we're going to go ahead and cut this up really fast. If you guys are wondering what my measurements are, I can show you all of them. You can see them as I'm doing them live. I'm not really going to explain them too in depth. Most of this is just cutting circles and playing around with stuff. Right now I'm cutting through the outer area here to build the framework for the threading that I want to put in here. And the interior portion here is going to be about 5 millimeters in thickness. So this will be just a little bit bigger than what our current adapters are, and not too crazy when it comes to design. I made it at 31.5 millimeters, so it's going to be just inside of what you would normally have. I think that it looks pretty cool. I think that's going to look pretty cool. Let's go 29 millimeters for the outer diameter here. We're going to join it. Let's finish it first. I always do that. I always catch the circle and then try to expand it to where I shouldn't do. And it always ends up biting me in the butt every single time. So catch that thing. We'll go ahead and chase it. I did notice that maybe I'm starting a trend. I don't know. I've seen some of the other saber smiths out there now putting up their design stuff. And maybe I'm not setting a trend. Maybe I'm just now seeing their things. But I've started to see more of them show up out in the community the last couple of weeks. I think it's really cool. It's really nice to see other sabersmiths doing those things too. All right, this one's going to be interesting. I don't know exactly how I want to do it, but it's kind of 2 parts. It's going to be we're going to do this. I'm going to line it up, and I think I want it to be 1 millimeter width. We'll go 1 millimeter in depth, and we'll set that like so. We'll catch it. I'm not sure it's going to be super happy doing this, but we'll try it. Let's go 2.5. Yeah. So then we're going to capture that. We're going to do this a little bit differently than I've done it before. I found a cool trick on duplicating all of these items. So we're going to cut that hole in here really quick, and then I'm going to use a pattern, circular pattern, to identify an object or a feature, which is in my timeline. So I click that feature in the timeline, it highlights the box, you can see it here, and that's going to allow me to tell it which feature that I want it to do and how to work it. And so I'm going to have it do, let's go 26. Let's do 26 of them. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, so we're going to tell it to do 26 of these. You know what? Let's go back here really quick. Let me capture. Let's go back in the timeline just a smidge. Okay. The reason I wanted to do this is I wanted to catch these edges here really quick, and I just wanted to put a quick chamfer on them and make them 0.25 millimeters. So 1/4 millimeter of a chamfer. Yep. Slide that in there and then bring it back out. Okay, cool. Now we have something that gives it just a little bit of look. Yeah. All right. The next piece here is going to be something like this. We're going to draw a line back here on this side too. And if you remember, that one was 1 millimeter in width. So we're going to go 2 millimeters in width, and we're going to go 1/2 a millimeter, half of that in depth. You know what? 6.6 millimeters sounds good. That's close enough. We'll do that. And then we're going to take this and cut it along that component just a bit there. Boop. Let's bring it back this way. That's kind of cool looking, I think. I think that's what it's going to look like. Yep. We'll just play around with it and see what happens. All right. We got the feature. We're going to do another. We're going to do another pattern. Let's make it circular. We're going to do feature selected. I got the object selected, and now I need to catch that axis. Actually, I didn't want the object. I wanted the feature. That feature. Got it. Okay. And then we're going to take the same count, 26, and run it around. And now you got it. Yeah. I think I want to make it wider. I think I'd like to make that wider. Yep. Alex, let's do it. We're going to go ahead and add some length on here. I'm going to run this back just a smidge. And I think I'm going to take it out to 8 millimeters. Let's go 8 millimeters. So we're going to go 3 more millimeters. And then pull that back open. It's going to start crying because it says it's too much. I don't like it. We're close. We're close. Let's do this. Let's edit that one. We'll take it back to 4.5. Yeah, I like that one. And this one will go to the same. Minus 4.5. Shaboopy. Now we got something that looks like a saber piece. That looks pretty stinking cool. That was the first attempt. That's not too bad, I think. I'm going to keep this one because this is a really cool piece. I think that it might be a little hard to manufacture. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see what kind of costs go into this one. But I think that this one looks stinking cool. All right, let's finish it. Let's finish it up. Let's do it. Okay. You talked me into it. We'll go ahead and put some threads on here and make that a visible one. I have my own special thread that I made. I don't want to say proprietary because that's kind of silly, but it was one that I manipulated to make fit. So now we have that, and I think that we need to put in here a couple of circles because these adapters have a habit of getting stuck in things. So we're going to drop a circle on this axis. We know that this circle is, shoot, where are we at here? 7, that's 14. Let's go 7. Shaboopy. Let's do 3 millimeters with that. I could have just drawn a line, I think, but I did not. Let's look at that again. Let's look at it again. What do we got? That's 7 millimeters. That's weird. Why is it so far down. I feel like it's really far down. Yeah. I think that's right. Let's just draw a line. That's right. It is 3. Look at that. Somehow I measured that off by a lot. Well, I'm terrible at this. Okay. We'll put that there, and we'll draw another circle to catch that on the inside. All right. Delete the evidence, because we don't want that. We want to capture those 2 circles. Is it highlighted? Can't tell. There it goes. Extrude it. Run it out to in a symmetric fashion and punch holes through both sides of that so you can get these things out of here. We'll go ahead and put on a chamfer that makes the interior slide nice and easy. And bada bing, bada boom, you got yourself a lightsaber. Another lightsaber part. I think that's going to look really, really good. I don't see anybody putting anything into chat this week, but that's okay. Do me a solid and tell me what you think about this this component. I think that it kind of looks a little bit like, if I can find one, I don't know where I put it. I had it around here somewhere. It is the, oh man, it looks like the clamp, the Graflex clamp. Yeah, that's what it is. Looks like a Graflex clamp. I think it looks really fetching. I'm happy with it. Let's put some parts on it. We got about 10 minutes left in the stream right now. I'm gonna throw some parts on here and see what it looks like. I like to do this part of the stream, I think the most, which is finding the parts to put on it. I'm just gonna grab a body segment and see what a Type 1 does for this part. Boop. Whew, girl, sharp. You go capture an emitter really fast. I don't think I have any emitters that actually are the correct format to fit alloy, which is one of the downfalls, I think. I think the only one that's in here that is of the style would be the redesign for... I have a redesign for the... oh my gosh, I can't think of what it's called. It's in here, the Tempest. Yeah. A Tempest is what it was. I think I was just looking at it, but we'll go ahead and grab this just for grins. And now, never mind. We'll pull that out of there. I just had to uncouple it. It's too many things to uncouple. I don't want to mess around with that too much. Let's just go ahead and grab it. No, that's not even a good one either. Dang. Let's go ahead and pull that out. I wish that... Let's just go straight to the emitter section. What the heck? Let's call it alloy emitters. Let's look at what a... Let's grab a lock test ring and... Oh, my dog is going crazy. Let's grab that one out. Let's just pull that. This is a... this one here is a look at a Templar style emitter that you might see on like the Templar style lightsaber, I think that that Vire has on their website. I'm just playing around with shapes on it primarily. I think that it would look really nice, kind of separated from the saber. But there you go. Just kind of a look at it. I think that this would look a lot better if it was wider, right? Like out to like here, what and width wise. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way that this looks. I think it looks really, really cool and nice and industrial feel to it. I'm going to keep it around. We're going to call it, I don't know what we'll call it. We'll call it clamp. Clamp adapter. All right. Go ahead and pull that one out of here. Get that test ring out of there. Get the body type out of there. Let's go ahead and save this. That's a really productive night. We did one design. That was so quick. You guys didn't even didn't realize that was going to happen, did you? Let's go adapter. Clamp. All right. I think I had another one that I was going to mess around with too. Let's say I got 5 minutes. Let's see if I can get a 5-minute design. What do you think? I got one more opening up here. 9 out of 10. Let's do it. Let's do a 5-minute design. We'll do that 31, whoops, not 331, 31.5. You know what? We'll just do 33. We'll chase this. We'll do the same size again, I think. 22 millimeters in length. Let's do it. I wonder if I did one like this already. I think I did. I might have done one already. I'll have to go look at it really fast. Alloy adapters. Let's do it. Maybe. Nope, I don't see it. It looks like we dodged that bullet. This is a simple cog. Nope. Okay. We're good. We're in the clear. Let's keep going. I do realize I started the stream just a little bit late, so we can stay on just a little bit longer. I think I can dodge the wife aggro just long enough that I don't get in trouble. 28. Let's pull it. Pull 7 millimeters like we have been previously, and now we have this outer diameter of 33. So we're going to catch the top of it. I want to do a tangent plane with this at 90 degrees. We're going to hit it, and we're going to do a box. Let's do a line, and we're going to put this in here like 2 millimeters by 6. I think that feels good. Yep. We'll call that punch the hole. We're going to go through and in, depress that just a little bit, and we'll go in 1 millimeter. I think that's probably a safe space to be. We're going to catch each one of these corners, and we're going to chamfer them, or not, excuse me, not chamfer them. We're going to fillet them, or radius them as it was. And this one is a lot of fun to just pull and put it in a spot, but it looks like I missed one of the corners, so that's rather frustrating. So we'll go ahead and catch those again, and we'll do a quick fillet on them. It looks like 1 millimeter is going to be the trick. All right, cool. So now we've got that captured. I think we're going to, let's do a quick look at here. I think I should have done this the first go around, but we'll play with this. We'll play with this really quick. All right, we caught the chamfer. We're going to put on a pattern as well. We're going to do another circular pattern on this axis, and we're going to select. I'm going to select that axis all the way around. I don't want 26. I really only want like 10. And that doesn't look like that's enough. Let's go 20. That's a few too many. What about 16? That feels right. It's a good feel. Uh-oh, I made a pattern error. How did I do it? Let's try it again. Pattern, circular. I want to collect a feature. Yep, got it. I need that feature, I need that axis, and I need like that. Hold up, let's do this a different way. We're going to do the same pattern, circular pattern. Got the feature, we're going to grab that and run it on the axis like so. Let's see if I can select 2 objects. Oh, there it was. Okay, we got it now. Oof. That's the first time I've ever done that with 2 objects. This is a first for everything. All right, cool. All right, so what we're going to do, I think, is zoom in a bit on this. I don't understand why it's not changing. The ruler in the background should be changing and showing me what I want to see. There it goes. Finally. Okay. I'm actually going to catch this front edge here. We're going to go to, let's just drop it down by a handful, like 0.2 of a millimeter there. It's a really cool feature where you can kind of run over and catch the adjacent block and tell it to pull the way that you want it to pull. So we're going to rotate this around, or revolve it, excuse me, around that same axis that we wanted to do. And it's going to give us just a little edge into which those pieces sit. And I'm not really like a huge fan of it being that 80 millimeters, because that means that this is going to hide when we try to use it for our adapter rings, for like the accent rings. And so I'm actually going to extend the width of this just a little bit, probably by like a millimeter or so, maybe 2. Let's go 2. Let's see how that comes out. That's okay. You know what? We'll do this a different way. So this is 8. This is 0.8 millimeters, so we need to expand this by 2 millimeters? Not quite 2. So that's 1.8. We need to go another 0.45. So we're going to extrude that 0.45. And I'll explain that in just a second. 0.45. Right? Because the distance for the smallest portion of our accent rings is 0.25, or I'm sorry, 2.25. And so we're going to do the same thing over on this side as well. We're going to go 1.45. And I think that should math correctly. Yep, it mathed. Cool. Okay, so now we have like a ring with a slight depression in it. I actually don't think I like that that pattern as well as I thought I did. So we're going to drop it down, I think, to 16, like I had intended originally. I think that width on it gives it a little bit better look. Yeah, I like that better. I think it looks good. Okay, catch that, catch that. Dang it. I wanted those, and I'm going to put a 0.15 chamfer on that, and I think this will probably take a 0.15 as well. Chamfer that 0.15. Yeah, that took it. Okay, so we got kind of something that looks a little decent. I don't necessarily want to punch these holes all the way through, although I might make them just a little bit deeper. So we will edit that and add just a little bit more depth to it. We'll go 0.5 millimeter. And it should pull. Yeah, that looks good. I don't know, I'm kind of a fan. I think it could probably look just a little bit nicer. See if I can put a chamfer on these. Nope, it won't let me chamfer. And the reason is because that interior chamfer is there. So let's pull it off and put another one on there. See if that works. Nope, still calling me a liar. Let me catch this inside one and see if that works. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm a fan of that one. Let's do this one instead. All right. I think that's as good as that's going to get for now. It's not amazing. It's not as good as I thought that it was going to look. I was hoping for something just a little bit different. I got my phone in front of me and I took some snaps of it, of what I thought it was going to look, or what I was hoping it would look like. I'm just going to take a peek at it really quick. Yeah. It's fairly okay. I think it's not bad. Let's do it. That's fine. I like that. Okay, I got 0.55 for my remaining, or 5.55 for that remaining length. So we'll go ahead and expand that by another 2. Let's see, 1.45. Right? We did 1 oh my gosh, 1.45 millimeters. That's going to come out to 7. Yep, my math still checks. Extrude another 1.45, 7 millimeters. That's good. I like it. Whoops. Gotta make sure I'm not just clicking into random spaces here. 29. I do see that there's still 3 people on, so I really appreciate all of you sticking through to watch whatever this whatever this was tonight. It was just kind of wild. I thought that it was important to talk to everybody about the thin neck that's coming. I'll have the 2 new necks in later. I think Monday is actually when they're slated to arrive. So I'll be able to show those off. And if you're in the Discord, you guys will obviously be like among the first ones to see it. Next stop is probably going to be Reddit, among other places, and just generally finding ways to put that information out into the community so people get kind of hyped for it. I hope that people get hyped for it. I don't know. You know, I'm really excited about it. I think that it's going to be a super cool addition to VHC, and I think that it's going to change. I think it's going to change the face of sabering for VHC, in my opinion. But that's just me. I think that might be my delusions of grandeur. I'm not sure. So go ahead and put this chamfer on, 0.15, excuse me, and that is going to be, I don't know. I think I need to put the circles in there, don't I? Yeah, I do. Let's catch that one and just drop a circle. Hey, what are you doing? We're there. We are there. It is now the time. I don't understand why this machine's doing that. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. All right. Got our circles. You know what? We'll go ahead and delete these 2 first. We're going to extrude those symmetrically out both sides so that it punches a hole on either end of it, and we're done. That's it. That was the one. I'm not sure what to call this one, so we'll just go ahead and save it as adapter, and they're kind of tic-tac shaped, so we'll call it tic-tac. Tic-tac. That's it. All right, I think that's going to wrap us up for the night. That is 5 minutes past the hour, which is about the time that I started the previous, or this go-around. Again, I want to apologize to everybody for how late I was and a little frazzled in the very beginning of the cast because things just went crazy tonight. I had some technical difficulties and some issues. And so back on track, I think. We talked a little bit about the stuff to come. 1 year came and went very quietly for Corvus Saber Foundry, and I'm going to try and make that back up to you guys with some stuff. The thin neck is coming, and I'm really excited about getting that into you guys' hands so you can see. We had a little short discussion about alloy and all of the things that alloy is and all the things that alloy is going to do and does. And so I appreciate you hanging on for that. And then we had a little design session where we hit up two of our adapters. And so I think that's going to be it for the night. That the HVAC system is coming on and it's starting to make a bunch of noise. So I'm going to go ahead and call it quits. Again, my name is Tim. This was the Corvus Cast. Peace out. See you guys later.